Welcome along to another edition of the Rave Story TV. And I've been desperate to get this man here, but he's so busy doing 1,000,001 things, getting old ravers out, whatever else he does. I know he does loads. And yesterday, I run my Rave Story event all day, went and DJ'd at a festival, got in about 3 o'clock this morning, but the only day he could do over the next few months was today, Sunday at midday. So there's no one else I would do this for other than Nev Amnesia House. Happy Sunday, Nev.
And to you, Daniel. Yeah, sorry about that, mate, but, you know, it's the only one I could do this Sunday, so that was it for me.
Yeah.
I'm booked up over the next few weeks with grandkids and events and everything, so I had... this was the only day I could do.
Yeah, and I know you're a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Even when I tried to tactically move it and say, do you still want to come in on Sunday? My charms wouldn't even win you over to go.
You wanted to do a bit later, didn't you?
I'll come in Wednesday. Nev, you absolutely fascinate me. The fact that you are an original rave promoter from '88. You've got all the football hooligan background that people absolutely love when they talk about the history of the rave scene. You've got it all, and I can't wait to unpack that.
Yeah, I've got some stories. Yeah,
not many, mate. So take us back before the promoting.
Yeah,
even before the football hooligan stuff. Like growing up, where you're from, what life was like, and what led you onto your path.
Well, I was born in Northern Ireland, and my father decided to move us out of Northern Ireland from back in the day because of all the troubles. And, and then we were a Catholic family, and he probably thought, we probably would have ended up joining some cause or something out there. So fair play to... Big John Fivey, God rest his soul, he wanted to get us out of Ireland because of the troubles and that, and we ended up moving to Coventry. We moved to Coventry to a council estate in Coventry, Wood End, Bell Green, and that's where we were sort of brought up as kids, really.
What year?
Oh, I can't remember. We're talking. I'm getting on a bit now, so I'd say I was about 7, 8 years of age, when we come over, and we were brought up in Wood End, quite a rough council estate, but there was all good families on that estate. They were all from good stock, Irish families and that, and still friends with them families to this day. And I still pop up to that area, pop into the local pub and have a pint and see all the old lads and that still there doing the same thing. So yeah. So we moved over from Northern Ireland.
Because you're a real people person, ain't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. I'm very well known in my city anyway, of Coventry, obviously because of the rave scene and doing the doors and stuff like that. So very well known.
Yeah, I can just tell from your event, your presence, just as we've got to know each other.
Yeah,
the way you are just a people person.
Yeah, I can't even go shopping with the missus Asda. She hates it because I go shopping with her and we get stopped in the Asda, for people to talk to me and that, and it does her head in. I said, well, let me just sit out in the car and read the paper then, So, yeah, very well known in my own city of Coventry, obviously down to...
Was you a mischievous kid?
Yeah, a bit mischievous back in the day. Yeah, growing up in Wood End and that, and then I ended up, obviously, my mum and dad split up years later and that, and my dad would run pubs and clubs in Coventry, to be quite honest with you. So the pubs and clubs thing was in the family. He run a working men's club. He run a pub. My stepfather run pubs. So the pubs and clubs was in the family anyway, sort of thing,
Yeah. So you got an natural egg for being able to do it. What about in your teens, discovering music?
Well, I wasn't really into the music in my early days. I was into my boxing, I joined, when my dad run this club, the Edgewick Club, they had a boxing club upstairs. and I went up to watch. It was Danny McAlinden, like he was a British champion, and he was training for the British title, and I was a young kid, and I was sitting there watching him train, and I was memorised with it, like, you know, I thought, oh, I like this. So I started training in this club called the Edgewick Club, and then we moved from the Edgewick Club to Wood End, and I ended up joining my local club, Bell Green. This is where I was sort of like, that's when I became a bit of a boxer, training, fitness, stuff like that. I weren't really into the music, like, you know. I was more into the scrapping side of things, like, you know.
And like with the boxing, did you have loads of matches? Did you have loads of fights?
Well, yeah, I had a load of amateur fights. You know, for Bell Green boxing clubs, boxing the NABC, stuff like that. I got the Boxer of the Year award sometimes at my local club. I turned professional. Well, what it is, in the end, when my mother moved back to Northern Ireland with my stepfather, and me and my brother and my older brother stayed in Coventry. Anyway, on the council estate where we were brought up, we got a flat, and it was like a sea view flat of the shops, the local shop. I called it Sea View or Wood End, and that was our flat. So we were. It was a rundown flat. We had nothing, no money. Like, and then my mate said, why don't you turn pro? You know, instead of fighting for trophies, I might as well fight for a few quid. So I thought, you know what, that's a good point. Like, you know, like, I mean, I was a good amateur boxer, turned pro. I weren't a really brilliant professional, but I didn't care about that. I was up for the scrap. I wanted a few quid. I weren't getting paid top dollar. I boxed on an Errol Christie show. He was a top boxer. He boxed Mark Cayley years ago. He was a West Hammer. Yeah, it was in London.
Right.
And Errol Christie fought for the British title against Mark Cayley. So all the I weren't there. I was actually in the Big Brother house then, like, you know, listening to it on the radio. And I boxed on this Errol Christie show, and I had more support than him because all my football lads and that come to support me.
What year was that? What year would you say?
Errol Christie, mate. I've got a poster of that show and that at home. I can't remember what year that was. That was 70-something, 80, 88, the rave scene, weren't it? I'd say a good few years before that, yeah. So, yeah, I loved the boxing, yeah, but I had no fear as a lad, yeah. So I got myself in a couple of scraps outside the ring and got myself into trouble a few times and that outside the ring.
Right.
Yeah.
And what were those scraps that got you in trouble? Where did it lead to?
Well, the scraps, football. Yeah, what it was, I went to the football one day. I think it was about 18, 19, something like that. And it kicked off outside this boozer. There was the local Gosford mob, they were called in that day. They were the mob. And I was getting told to fuck off. You fuck off, you little cheeky cunt. And I said, no, I ain't going nowhere. And I ended up earning more stripes that day. It kicked off, I think it was against either West Ham or Tottenham, whatever. It kicked off and I got stuck in. And I got accepted into the local football gang then. They said, you know what, mate, you're in, mate, you know? So, the football, like, so every Saturday we'd go to the away games, we'd go to home games, looking for the row. We were up to no good on the way down to the away games. We were streaming the bandits. Remember the fish wire, yeah? Like fishing rod wire. You'd make it into a 50p. We'd start streaming the machines in the pubs and that. So we were making loads of money on the way down to the matches. And we were looking for the row as well, really. That was part of the culture that I was involved in.
And what was the buzz about it that, like, really got you into?
Don't know. I don't know. It was a good group of lads. Like, still friends to this day. You know, I've got all my top mates. Like my brother Kieran was into it. We got your Westies, your Pee-wees, your Lanks, your Fatty Faulkners. We became a tight knit firm, like, you know, and still a tight knit firm now to this day. And it was just, being together as a firm and that, like, you know.
Because you, like, so you was late teens, early 20s? Yeah,
18, 19, 20, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it must have been a buzz then.
I was keen. I don't know what it was. I got myself in trouble,
right.
Yeah, obviously. As the police got to know me, yeah, look at that little rat there, little fucking fiery. I was a little fiery bleeder, do you know what I mean? And there was this day, it kicked off with West Ham. Yeah, and I think it was one of their top boys, Bill Gardner, one of our top boys, Basher Burney, kicked off on Gosford Street, and I got nicked. Yeah, and I got put inside for it. I only got 21 days. Short, sharp shot, they called it in them days.
Was that the only time you've ever been away?
No, there was 2 other occasions. Another football occasion and then another occasion in a nightclub. I can go on to that after. And I got 21 days, short, sharp shot, detention centre. Do you remember the old detention centres? So my first day in this detention centre, I had to stand under a clock for the whole day. First day, stand there, do not move. I was standing there for about 10 hours like that. Couldn't move. Like other lads, they just got in. And that was my first time in, and they called me a scrubber. Because in the dining hall of the detention centre, there was all all the squares. So all the people with the black shoes, they'd put all the black shit on the dining hall, and you had to scrub them squares from top to bottom. That was my job.
Right.
Scrubber.
Right. and like, did it make you angrier to get out and do more, or do you think
it didn't bother me? I thought, you know what, a bit of porridge. I was training in there, fit as a fiddle. And I came out, and that didn't change my outlook on it. I thought, okay,
straight back in.
Yeah, straight back in, going back to the football again. You know, I'm still involved in it. And then there was this one other occasion. We were at a wedding this day, and we were all suited and booted. And then we left the wedding. We went to the match. All suits, ties, and that. Yeah, you know, football hooligans.
Yeah.
And we walked down this street outside this chip shop, and it kicked off. And I chinned, sorry about this, Aston Villa fan. Yeah, chinned him, KO'd him. And he got robbed of a bus pass, and he had money on him and that, but I never robbed him. The little scallies did, you know, they were, you know. So later on that night, I went out on the piss, forgot all about it, you know, been kick off at the football, that was it. And I'll come outside a nightclub. I think I had an Aston Villa scarf around my neck like a twat. And the old Bill come outside the nightclub. The old Bill come straight up to me and arrested me. And I got charged with assault and robbery of about £3 and a bus pass. The owner of the chip shop knew me, and he grassed me up. And then I got 9 months for that, 9 months prison.
9 months?
Yeah.
And that was for something less than what you'd got 21 days for?
9 months I got, because I got the robbery. I wouldn't want £3 and a bus pass, but that was the charge.
And how was that 9 months?
That 9 months was, that was okay, right? Because I ended up in a brand new prison. Yeah, it's called Stockton at the time. I think it's a bit of a non-prison now, like, but at the time it was a brand new prison. I was in there with a few mates from Coventry and that. And it weren't like prison. I was in the gym, I was training. The only thing I missed was being out, seeing the missus at the time and that, stuff like that. But I was even thinking to myself, like, this don't even feel like prison. Because you had everything laid on, brand new cell, TV. I was training every day, fit as a fiddle. So that didn't really affect me either. Do you know what I mean?
And what year was that, Nev?
I can't remember the years. I'm terrible with the years. But it was before the rave scene in '88. So I'd say 86, 85, 86,
right.
Something like that.
So 9 months in there.
Yeah. So then that was it. I come out again. And when I come out, so, you know, I can't remember everything that's like. There was my brother Kieran and Bam Bam. They were doing door work at a place called the Tally-O. And they were working for my friend's dad, who was Tony Riley, ex-professional boxer. He boxed Jim Watt for the British title, but he was the head doorman. And when I come out, I kept begging him. I said, give me a job on the door, like, you know, like I wanted to sort of try and protect people instead of steaming into them and that. And I think he gave me the job eventually, you know, because he was the head doorman, but we were the young up and coming, like. So he just sit at the bar and the drink. If it kicked off, he'd leave it to the youngsters to sort out. God rest him, Tony, like, great bloke. And then there was one more sentence after that, and this was not my fault. This one, yeah. So there was a club. We used to do the door in a place called the Tally-Ho. We were doormen. And this is when the acid house music was just starting off a little bit in them days. We had a DJ Shane. It was just starting. And there was a club across the road. And we used to go, when we finished work, we'd go across the road. So I'm in this place called Reflections on this. I think it was a midweek day or something like that. Now this lad who I know, yeah, I've known him a long time. He wasn't really a friend, but you know him. I'm down the bottom of the club and he's come to me. He says, Nev, I've got a bit of vassal up here. Will you watch my back? So I thought, all right then. So anyway, I followed him up the stairs. As he went up the stairs, he picked a pint glass up, yeah, and he smashed this glass in this Asian lad's face. Now, I didn't know he was going to do that, yeah. Now, at the bar at the time, there was some American air pilots there. Like, you know, like from America, they were in the club, man. They went to court against me in court. And this guy was out of order, the lad who did it, I'm not going to name him.
So he'd used you to
He used me. But anyway, as these Americans turned round, I was there. They thought it was me that done the glassing, yeah? So I'm in the club, having it in the club with these American pilots, having the row, yeah? And this guy's face was a mess. Anyway, next morning, the old Bills turned up at my address. And I had a Great Dane at the time, Great Dane dog, and he had a dog ring and that because he was a big horse of a dog like. And I hid my clothes. I had blood on my clothes from this bloke who got glassed, which I never did. Anyway, I got charged with Section 18 wounding. This was serious this time. This weren't just a scrap at the football. This was like, you know. So what it is, the guy that done it, he got charged with Section 18, and they charged me with Section 18 with intent as well. Looking at like 5-10 years. So anyway, when it was coming to trial, they offered me a deal, like to plead guilty to a Section 20. So I spoke with my barrister and I said, well, I never done the wounding. I had the row, so I went through trial. I gambled. I got offered a deal, and I thought, well, I never did. I didn't know he was going to do it, so I'll give my evidence and that. Anyway, I got found not guilty on the Section 18 wounding, thank God, and I got done for a fray. So I got 15 months then. The lad that done the glassing, he got 7 years.
Right.
And I could have got, because what it is, what they tried to say was that I knew what he was going to do. So we conspired together when he went up them stairs and he grabbed that glass and smashed it in the guy's face, that I knew he was going to do it, which I never, you know.
Yeah.
And then that changed my sort of outlook on the fighting side of things, like, you know. When I went inside for that, I thought, right, I've got to change. And when I went inside this time, I ended up gym orderly in the gym. I was one of the fittest blokes in the gym doing the circuit track. They used to have a circuit called the Dirty Dozen, and I set all the records and that. I was flying like in there, and I come out a different person, like fit as a fiddle. Yeah, I come out with a bit of a tash as well. One of my mates ripped me a brummy tash, like, oh, babe, you used to rob cars, did you? And I come out different. Fitness, I was into fitness, stuff like that, and I ended up going back on the door then as well, like doing the door work, security.
Mid-80s to...
There was a lot of violence.
Yeah, so it sounds
fighting.
Like chaos around you, like
it was,
prison free times, fighting, door work.
Yeah.
Did you have any other... What else were you doing for money? Like, was you up to no good?
We were doing a few, bits and bobs. Like, we were up to no good.
Yeah. So you was well about in a chaotic
Listen, we were out doing machines, strewing machines, getting money out of them. We'd go out in the, surviving. Because I was living in a council flat in Woodend. Me and my brothers, we had fuck all. We used to go out and rob milk and bread off the fucking doorsteps and stuff like that. Chickens on a Sunday. The milkman used to deliver all that. We used to go, but the only thing was, we didn't have a cooker to fucking cook the food on. Do you know what I mean? Like, like things like that. And, but the area that I was from, there were good people that lived in that area.
Was it multicultural? Was it multicultural?
Not really,
as well?
not so much then. No, Not really. It is more like that now. There's like families like the Grady's, the Lindsays, the Smiths, like we're the Fiveys, like, good families, and we're still friends to this day.
Because you live and breathe Coventry, you love it, don't you?
Do you know what? I moved out of Coventry for a bit. Coventry's changed a lot now. It's not the same city as it used to be. There's a lot of violence there and stuff like that. Like in certain areas, you hear about bad things and that, but, I'm still.
You're
still
proud of your heritage there. You're proud.
Yeah, it means a lot to be Coventry because what we started in the Midlands in Coventry, the history of what we've done over the years. It means a lot to me.
Yeah,
for what we've done.
You come out your third time straight back into door work.
Yeah, door work. Yeah, and what it was. I think there was this night anyway. My brother. Fred the Head. We call him Fred the Head because he used to have a good head, but back in the day, he's got a big head.
The Head.
If he landed the head on you're going down. And then there was Bam Bam, yeah?
Why was he called Bam Bam?
It's just his nickname from all the years. Like, when me and Bam were best mates, like, as growing up and that, as kids, school and that. Bam had a donkey.
Did you have a nickname with them all?
Well, my nickname was Loud and Nasty.
And that was
Peanut. A lot of them used to call me Peanut because I'm a peanut.
You become
head.
Loud and Nasty.
Loud and Nasty later
peanut,
on, like,
right. Peanut.
Yeah, so, I mean, me and Bam grew up. Bam used to have a donkey, like, and we were earning money as kids, like, doing fetes and doing donkey rides and stuff like that, so we had an eye to earn a few quid. So, yeah. So what happened was, so I think I'd not long come out of jail. And I think I've been to a Sharon and Tracy club, with my Sharon and Tracy jacket on, right, my brummy tash and that, just out of the jail.
I can't imagine.
I used to lick my tash. I was dead chuffed out of tash. I used to lick it like that, thinking, I've got a tash.
Would you grow one now to be trendy?
Would I?
I know you wouldn't. But you see people with them all trendy and that. I know you would.
So it was like, Bam and my brother Fred Kieran, they said, Nev, we've got this warehouse tonight. This acid house music was sort of started off in the Tally-O. It was like getting played a bit. He says, we're doing this party in this little warehouse. It was in Canal Road in 1988 it was. And they said, look, Nev, will you do the door? I think we've got the flyer here today. Yeah. It's a little flyer.
A proper old, like acid house.
You can see the top design of that, can't you? Anyway, so I says... all right. Yeah, so I got to this warehouse. I think it was like after the nightclubs had shut or something. And they had a sound system in there, not a big sound system, and a strobe light, yeah? I thought, fucking, what's going on here, like, yeah? Now, this was a moment, like, on there, I thought, I didn't know what was going on, yeah? I didn't, this is a party, yeah? So anyway, as I'm there doing the door, it's a fiver in, yeah? Pay there, mate, five. I think there might have, I'll tell you what, 100 people, yeah?
12th of November 1988.
Yeah.
Drawn on flyer.
Yeah.
Amnesia presents Acid House, Balearic Beat. We call it Acid.
Yeah.
£5.
£5.
And it's all drawn on, yeah.
Yeah. I think Man Paris was the DJ. I think Man Paris, who was one of our MCs, like Jeff was DJing at the time, and so he used to DJ at the clubs as well across the road from the Tally-O. Anyway, so I'm there, and then someone said, "Hey, Nev, do you want to try one of these, like a baked bean?" Yeah, I call them baked beans, like, yeah. So anyway, because I remember, like, I don't know, Return of the Foot Soldier film, where the moment, like, the two doormen are standing next to each other, like, and they're watching all these people rave, and they've just dropped a baked bean. They're going, these ain't really working. 10 minutes later, he's kissed his mate, and he's jumped into the middle of the rave, started raving. And this is what happened to me, yeah? And it's like, wow, yeah? Anyway, it was just amazing, like, and I thought, wow, this is like, and then the friendliness of everybody and people like, I never used to like you, but you know what, you're all right, you are. And that's what it did for me, like, and it just changed everything. And I thought, wow. So that was the first party that I was involved in. With Amnesia House.
Yeah, so I got
hooked.
Yeah.
On the fishing rod. Come here, Nev. We're having you.
So quite a difference from bashing other football
people.
teams up, being in prison, to coming out, popping a little fella and being like, loving people you didn't realise you liked.
I mean, I'm not condemned, but back in that day, this exploded, yeah? Obviously, the Ecstasy was a big part of the rave scene, yeah? In them days, and it changed things for me, and I think it changed things for a lot of other people as well, and a lot of other football firms and stuff like that. You know what? Let's forget the fighting. Let's go raving.
Yeah.
So I got to know, like, the top boys in Leicester, Simon Harris, right? Walton from Birmingham, Barrington from Birmingham, Villa lads, and we all became sort of mates instead of like, you know what? Anyway, when we started doing the Raves in Cov, these people were bringing their people over to Coventry. Do you know what I mean? It was like, listen, mate, I'll sell some tickets. We'll bring Leicester over, bring Birmingham over. You know, like, and that's what it did, sort of thing. It's a mate. It's weird. I mean, instead of bashing each other and being football rivals, I'm still mates with these people to this day. You know, like, I mean, Barrington passed away, God rest his soul. He ended up one of my head of security at my raves. Like, he was a cage fighter. His kids went to school with my kid. He's from Birmingham. He moved over to Coventry, one of the top boys from Birmingham. And the top boy from Leicester, Simon Harris, became really good friends. Still good friends now. I don't see him as much. I speak to him now and again on the phone. But he brought Leicester over to our event.
Do you know what I love, Nev? He's like, you think from this event, 12th of November 1988, to this day that we sit here, like over the years, it's been like written in books, like football hooligans come together, and you might get a little sound bite in a documentary where it's sort of like just made as a sentence of like, this is what it you know, and it almost becomes like an urban myth, like part of the rave script. But now that we have the beauty of podcast and the internet, a real life football hooligan who went through all of that. Discovered Acid House can actually sit here and explain in depth, you know, that actually this is what happened. Like, all of a sudden, you're teamed up with like football hooligans, Aston Villa, Leicester, and you all become part of like this Acid House movement. And it's quite a change. One thing, Nev, I want to ask you, do you think that whole... Because obviously... Ecstasy, it's really potent. It's a wicked buzz for all of us back in the day. Do you think it also changed your mentality throughout life?
I think it did.
When you're not on them.
Well, I mean, like, the thing was, like, I had a go on it, back in the day, and it did bring people together, right? The music, obviously, the Ecstasy was a big part of the rave scene in them days, and I think it changed a lot of people's lives, you know, like, because people used to come to these events and just lose themselves for 12 hours, you know, and, like, you know, forget about all your troubles, and they used to dance to the music and just lose yourself into the music. And
because I've always thought that, like, because I had a hit, like, I was banging to the E's for a good few years, from when I was, like, 15 to, say, 18. And as I got older... I just think back to them moments and that togetherness, and I think it was amazing on drugs. But we, as people, as we get older, we can also have that empathy and that togetherness with people without drugs.
I mean,
and I think that's important.
I mean, like that. Now, obviously, I was still doing events, even at my age, and just to see people. I know a lot of people that are in recovery now. You know, like, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do it, but they still come to the events. You can still dance. You can still listen to it. You don't need to take drugs to have a good time, you know. Like, so, and I know a lot of people that are in recovery that come to my events, and they don't take drugs, they don't drink, but they say they have the best time going.
Yeah, because there's nothing like...
Do you know what I mean?
There's nothing like togetherness with music. It's got like such a tribally emotive feel to it.
Well, listen, when I see my events busy now to this day, and the atmosphere... I always love that, because she's going out to the atmosphere. That's what it's all about. And it's bringing people together. And I like that. I mean, there's friends that I've met in my events over the years. They met 30 years ago, and they've ended up coming back to my events, and they're bringing their kids. They're bringing their kids with them. They go, Neville, can I have a photo with you and my son? I've told my son all about you. And they're bringing their kids to my events, which is... Yeah,
it feels good, doesn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Like, I was at the last event that you played at. I went and seen Mad P at his hotel the next day, and there was his family there, just a normal family, a mum, a dad, and 2 daughters. Now, I didn't know they'd been to my event. I was having breakfast with Nick and that, you know, Nick, Pat's mates. And I was going to get a coffee and that, and they goes, wicked event last night. And I says, were you there? Anyway, he said, yeah, this is my 2 daughters. And then I remember the daughter, when you were on, they were at the front of the stage dancing their heads off with the mum and dad. And I said, I remember you last night now. I've got you on video. I showed them the video. And that the bloke and the mum said, we used to come to your events back in the day, the Eclipse and this and that, and we absolutely loved it, and we still love it now. And you're never too old to have a dance,
You're
are
never
you?
too old. It makes an amazing feeling.
Because some people say, like, you're too old to go raving, but people going to go and watch Oasis or Mick Jagger, he's 80-odd, people still go and watch. So if you like dance music, yeah, why are you too old to go and dance at a rave?
Yeah, I agree,
you still
mate.
get a good workout at a rave,
yeah,
can't
mate,
you?
I agree. Like yesterday at our event,
Yeah.
people come with their kids.
Yeah.
Like people come and they have photos with us, and also youngsters come because they've heard the tapes or seen the podcast.
Yeah.
And like for me, when you think of you starting out,
Yeah.
In '89, me starting out in 1990, we have it becomes our duty out of a love for what we do to keep the memories and the history alive for people.
Correct. Well, just recently, there's a niece of one of my good friends, yeah, who's doing a university. University for her exams.
Right, a degree.
She wanted to do a documentary on us. And she said, Neville, so I let her come to the event and film, and then we done interviews, me, Toz, and all that a few weeks back with her and that. Anyway, she's passed with flying colours, and she went into the history. She wanted to know about the history of us, and she'd done it as part of her degree. And she sent me a message the other day, Neville, thank you so much. I've got top grades for what she's done, filming at the event. She's done interviews, and that's a young, I think she's an 18, 19-year-old kid, I think, something like that, and she was intrigued about the history.
You know what? Before we get back, before we go back in time, like yesterday at our event, right?
Yeah.
So you know what it's like, Nev. You're like me and Sonia. You're a people's person, so you like being on that door, greeting everyone.
Yeah.
That is our buzz as promoters. Like people come in and we want to talk to everyone if we can, right?
Yeah.
So some youngsters come in, 2 young girls.
Yeah.
They couldn't have been older than 21, 22, and they're like, wow, we listen to all your radio shows and podcasts. And I looked and I was like, I couldn't help it. I was like, how old are you? And they told me, and I was like, wow. Like we're about music and authenticity from like 35 years ago, and these youngsters are finding it, and it feels good, Nev.
I mean, my kids grew up with the rave stuff and that, and I remember my 2 sons. They came to, I think it was the 30-year celebration of rave, and my 2 sons anyway. So they come and I walked through the crowd with my 2 sons, and they said, Dad, this is amazing. And this is my 2 sons, and they just couldn't believe the vibe, and they said, Dad, this is wicked.
I love that.
But my sons they like dance music. Like my oldest son's just come back from Ibiza. He's been out there for a couple of days.
Loving life.
My daughter, she's a promoter now. I've got her she loves it. She's a good promoter. She started her own brand, New Generation. So they've been brought up with it, and they love the old school. They love the old school tunes, the Shades of Rhythms and stuff like that.
Brilliant.
They love it.
Yeah, so that's like my daughter DJs, my son's in music, and they've grown up around it.
Yeah.
So they take it on. Right, so back to this mythical era.
Right.
So the first one's 12th of November 1988.
Yeah.
And like 88, 89.
Yeah.
There ain't many promoters and a crew of people who can drop those kind of flyers that are written on.
That was it. It was just...
Right, so talk me through from there to the end of 89.
I think the next event then, because it was illegal then, but the authorities didn't know what the hell was going on, and nor did we. We done a party, so bloody hell, should we do another one? That's what it was like, we didn't know what we were getting into. So we got offered a mansion, and that was Stuart Reed, who owned the Eclipse, Stuart, who was a brother-in-law of mine. His missus and my ex-missus were sisters. And he says, Nev, I've got a mansion, And the bloke that owned the mansion was away on holiday. He said we could do a party in his back garden. So this was the next party in a mansion. It was in Fenny Drayton. So we've set up a sound system in the back garden with a couple of strobes again, And then we had a few meeting points around Coventry. And then, we got it all set up, we had a few like trustees, right, bring them in at a certain time. Convoys come in the party, the back garden. The old Bills turned up. What's going on here? I said, we're having a party. Private party, mate. They just shut off, left us to it, like, you know, and that from the 100 people, I think we went up to 150, 200 people. It was like, you know, this was mad.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like, wow, you know, what's actually happening here?
Was the mansion house, was it trashed at all? Or was it all
No,
left
they didn't want it inside the house. It was in the garden.
in the garden, yeah.
So we didn't let them in the house. Or else
Yeah.
So and that was the next one from there. Like, it was like, you know, so then we were hooked then. So listen, we're going to carry on doing some of these, and then we went from there. I think we got a barn. Was it a barn? Barn, yeah. Was that a barn in Binley in Coventry? And now this farmer put us onto it, and it was a rundown barn. So anyway, we've done this one in the barn. We had an ice cream van inside the barn this night, and I think the next one was 300 people. It was like this was growing.
Growing for you.
Like, you know, very quickly as well, because everybody was getting wind of this rave, this acid house thing. Like, you know, you want to come to this acid house, they're wicked, like, you know. And I remember this barn, the first barn event, and the sound system went down, you know, because we had generators a lot, you know, to power things there. We didn't have electric in this old barn. Anyway, the music went off, and Frank McGee, who owned the ice cream, God rest his soul, passed away. He put the music on while the music cut out. He put the ice cream music on in the barn, like, you know, like the people were still dancing to the ice cream music, like, you know. And it was, yeah, I mean, them barn events, they were amazing. And then
did you do many in the barn?
We done two in, was it two in the barn? We done two in the barn. The second barn one, we're talking 500 people. The old Bill had a helicopter it was night. They had a light coming from the helicopter, and they were helping us guide the people in, because it was dead dark down this lane to get to the barn, and they even helped us out to, like, so the people could see to get into the barn, you know. Yeah. And it was like it just the second barn one was like, you know,
mental.
I think there's a video out from that barn back in the day, people dancing on it and all that.
Yeah.
There's a video about that. I remember that. Luke and that were in it and that. I'd
love to see that.
Yeah, there was a video from that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
So,
and then where did you go from the barn?
Well, was the barn? Was it the Newridge or Southam? Was it Southam next? Right, yeah, so this is a good story, yeah? So we're on the mission now, like, you know, the council and state lads, we've got to focus, like, we're not fighting, we're not doing anything, yeah? So there was other lads involved with us at first as well, like Pete Wall, Basher Burney. They knew this farmer, yeah? And this farmer, they knew he was going on holiday, yeah? And he had this piece of land in Southam, just outside Coventry. So we went and had a look at this, and we set a big, massive marquee up on it. And I don't know how many, were you there, Toz? Yeah. I don't know how many people, 1,000 people, was it? Anyway, we'd done the party on this land in the marquee. It was pissing down with rain that night, as I can remember. But in the morning, the sun was shining in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. The farmer's son turned up. He said, what's going on here? I said, didn't your dad tell you? He said, well, yeah, we're allowed to do a party here. He said, well, he never told me. He said he wanted to keep it a secret, yeah? So, you know, he didn't have a clue. The farmer was away. We knew he was on holiday. So anyway, the son said, oh, my dad didn't. I said, well, he didn't want to tell you because we had to keep it a secret, you know? And that was that. So we took the piss on that as well. Like,
yeah,
you know?
brilliant.
Yeah. So, so it was just...
What did it feel like seeing 1,000 people turn up?
We were on a roller coaster then. It was like, what, you know, what's going on here, sort of thing. Like this acid house thing that's come into our lives out the blue, it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And we weren't businessmen. I wish I had been a businessman back in the day, because I'd probably be sitting here multi-millionaire now. Yeah. Yeah, but it was part of the culture, part of growing up, part of... You know, I jumped on this train, and I weren't getting off.
Was you doing the door? Was you doing the door at the event? So by that point, with 1,000, you was in the thick of it.
Mickey Linus, God rest his soul, used to call me Norman the Dorman. Yeah, I was everywhere, right? Because people when there's money involved, there's always someone going to try and like. And I was checking everything. I mean, I hired a lot of my own mates from the football days doing the door for me. Martha and Fatty Fulton, Pee-wee. I had a few big doormen from Coventry, Dave Ledgeridge, Tony Blackstock, people like that working for us as well. I had a good firm. You had to have but now it's getting bigger. We had to have a firm of security because obviously money was involved. We were selling pop, like and there was other people that wanted a piece of that cake. So
because in the we have all the London stories about gangsters getting involved, trying to take over doors, or drug dealers being territorial, or other promoters wanting to cause trouble or stop the event. Did you have much of that in that 89 era?
Yeah, there was a good few incidents. I was still up for the row. Yeah, a few people tried to move in here and there. I had a couple of one-on-one rows with a few, so-called hard men. They thought they were, and I came out on top a couple of times. You know what I mean? I thought, I still got it, but I wouldn't see. The thing was, Bam Bam was the calm one, I was the fiery one. But Bam was a tough man as well. Do you know what I mean? But Bam had me on a leash now and again. Every now and then, Bam would let me off. Do you know what I mean? Because people would try and take the piss or try, and I just couldn't have that.
Because you were still young as well.
I was still young, but I was keen. I was fit as a fiddle, and you had to listen. Like Terry Stone, obviously, he had trouble back in the rave scene and that. So with success comes trouble. That gets jealousy. There's a bit of jealousy comes in and stuff like that. There was a few drug dealers moving in and stuff, and so you had to try and keep control of things. Although I was still raving, I was running the rave, but I was still part of the Ravers. I was one of them. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Describe in 1989 coming up with so you find your venues like a farm or a mansion house. Like how you would go about promoting an event and putting it together in that period of time.
Well, a lot of it back then was like word of mouth, So it was word of mouth. Obviously, the main boys in Leicester, I was in touch with them, and that's it. Listen, bring your people over, like Birmingham lads. So a lot of it was word of mouth, and word of mouth spread. I mean, we didn't have the mobile phones and that. I remember I had a big one of them. The first mobile phone was one of them big Nokias. Like I had another phone with the bricks with the charger. I had one of them. So it weren't like I had a pager back in the day as well. You go to a phone box, never been paged like.
Yeah.
But we had we had a lot of people helping us. From certain areas in Coventry, and I'd give some people tickets to knock out in certain areas, and things like that. So it grew,
and
like that.
You absolutely loved gathering people. Loved it.
I found my niche, I did, because I don't know what it is. I've always been good at getting people into a place for some reason.
Yeah,
and it's been in my blood for
people's person.
Yeah.
Of gathering
promoting
them all for a good time.
Yeah.
Lifestyle 2000.
Yeah, that was Stuart Reid and Baz Edwards' event. That was. They had I remember because we used to go picture selling back in the day, and they had the flyer. Hans Christian Andersen picture and that, and they'd done it on I can't remember, on some land. They had a big marquee and stuff like that. I think Stuart spoke about it on the Terry Stone. Anyway, this was a bit of a fallout happened with Stuart, and I think Mickey was selling some tickets for that event and that, and some money went amiss and that, because Stuart was doing business with a person called Baz Edwards, who they own the Eclipse together. And this was before the Eclipse opened, and they done Lifestyle 2000, and that was an amazing event. Like what they did, they had people come from all over the. So what it is, obviously, we started it off, and obviously Stuart got involved with this with the mansion, and then Stuart, he was a businessman, Stuart, and he seen a niche. He thought, I'm going to get on this, and Stuart did. Fair play to him, he did. He got on to Lifestyle 2000, and he done a successful illegal rave, and. yeah, so other people were jumping on it as well. You see, other lads in Coventry started doing a couple of events. There was one at Coventry Airport. Fair play to them, do you know what I mean? Because there was enough for everybody.
Yeah.
It was just...
You've written down what it's saying about Bam and Mickey weren't allowed in to begin
well, that's
with.
the Eclipse, like, but that's just before the Elite. Let's go back to there was this other one. I'm going to lead up to this big New Year's Eve.
Right,
that was coming. So we built. So now we were getting bigger.
Right.
Yeah. So then there was another day we had we had this rave. We had Sasha from Manchester playing. We met him at the Hacienda. Yeah, when we were at rave, we went to Hacienda, I think, on Monday nights or something like that. Sasha playing. So we were on the rave scene now. Like, we're going to all. So anyway, we had a rave booked on this day. We never had a venue. Yeah, doing a rave. We got no venue on this day. So me and Bam Bam, we're driving through this industrial estate in Coventry. Yeah. And we've clocked this brand new warehouse, yeah? The back door was open. I said, yeah, Bam, look at this here. So we pulled over, went into the back of the warehouse, beautiful warehouse. I thought, this is where we're doing it.
Was it big?
Big. It was 1,500, like I still pass that warehouse most days and that. I thought, that was a wicked rave, that was. So anyway, we've changed the locks on this warehouse, yeah? We've done all the right things, changed the locks. We've got a bent contract done up, yeah, making out that we've been rented this off this company, made up a bullshit company. Simon Rain, who owns Gatecrasher, he was our front man. So anyway, all the convoys around Cov, right, they're all buzzing about this party. It was near the council estate where I was one of the lads, like, and all the lads were in the local pub. They didn't know it was there, but sent word out to everybody. This is where it is. Brought all the convoys in, and the queue was down the road. We got everybody in. The old bill turned up. Simon Rain went out with the bank contract, said we've been hired this thing. The copper said, all right, lads, stand. I hope there's no trouble. Shut off. We done the rave. Yeah, brilliant. Sasha, Dot Scott, he started his career there. Dobbo we had, Man Paris. And we cleaned it up in the morning. We swept everything, in case there's any traces of drugs or anything. And we left that warehouse as it was.
Amazing.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it was cat and mouse with the police in them. They didn't know what was going on. But in the end, they were getting wind of this crack. And I think they formed an Acid House squad in the end. I think Maggie
they did. So if any of our viewers type in Acid House squad, if they ask like Google or Chat GPT, it brings up the amount of
Well, I remember
arrests.
the head copy, his name's Inspector Burrell. So anyway, they were on to us. Yeah, thought, oh yeah, we're on to these lads here. So anyway, it was building up. There was this big one. For some reason, it was going to be massive, yeah. And on the morning of this rave, the door went. Old Bill at the door. Neville Fivey? I said, yeah. They served me a writ. If you hold any parties in Coventry, you'll get a £10,000 fine or 6 months prison. So I've looked at this writ and I thought, well, I'm not doing the party in Coventry. I'm doing it in rugby outside of Coventry. So the writ wouldn't have fucking mattered anyway. So this rave was building up for a New Year's Eve extravaganza, yeah? And there was people, for some reason, because we set up a hotline. We had a 0800 hotline and stuff like that. When we were putting flyers out, we were getting people's addresses and names. Mickey Linus, he set up a mailing list. We were getting people's names and addresses so we could post flyers to them when we're doing We were ahead of the game, And there's building up to this. Anyway, on the day of this rave, on New Year's Eve, we were on central television. I weren't, but on the news. So they were promoting it for us on the telly, telling people not to turn up. Now, you can't tell ravers they ain't turning up at a rave.
It's going to create more hype, innit?
So I got served this writ. So anyway, I was being watched, so I couldn't go near the venue. It was a brand new, massive warehouse, massive. Could fit 10,000 people in it. And they were coming from all over the country for this. Like, everywhere, London, Manchester, for some reason they were coming. And it was on the telly as well, So we got the lights all set up in there. And the last piece of the jigsaw was the sound system. Now, we used to use a black people, Crusader sound they were called. They were Rastas and that. They used to do all the reggae.
All the reggae sound.
And the sound system was the bollocks. It was Crusader sound. And they'd done a good few of our illegal raves and that. So anyway, so the old Bill, they were watching everything in Coventry. They were watching me, so I didn't and it was going past this park in Coventry. Was it Coombe Abbey? And they clocked this van, so they followed this van with the black lads in the van. Yeah, it was the sound system, and they sussed it, and they got to the thing. Yeah, and it all there was the last part, and it all kicked off. I got wind. It all kicked off. Cars overturned, bit mini riot sort of thing. So they bust it. So anyway, they ended up having parties in Coventry and flats and stuff like that night, and people were raving all around the city.
Had you sold loads of tickets for it?
Well, tickets, a lot of it was going to be taken on the door on the night. You know what I mean? So that was the end of the illegal raves for us. That was the biggie. So this Acid House Squad, Inspector Burrell. This is where Mickey Liner's come in. God rest his soul. Mickey Bam's brother. And they approached Mickey and says, look, we've had enough of yous. We want you to do it legally in a safe environment. Yeah, which is fair enough. So Mickey come to me and Bam Bam, and I said, I don't trust them old Bill, they're But we had meetings. We had a solicitor, a proper solicitor, and they says, you can do it, but there's no entertainment's license. So this solicitor said, well, you can do it as a private members party, yeah? So people can join as a member. So we had a boozer in Coventry called the Bantam. So we advertised the first legal rave in the UK. Was that 89? 89. So people had to come and join as a member at the boozer, buy a ticket. We give them a membership card, Amnesia membership card. We had the name, address, everything. So we're building up a big mailing list as well. All ravers, names and addresses. We ended up getting a franking machine for the postage. Like we posted out 10,000 flyers at a time, lots of people. So we've done the first legal rave in the UK with the police's blessing. I mean, the venue, we had to knock out some breeze blocks to put another fire exit in and that, or else we could only get 500 in. They said, you can only
And what was the venue?
Sky Blue Connection. Yeah, it was where Coventry City trained, their football, yeah. And I think we've done, I'll tell you, they were amazing, these events at the Sky Blue Connect, the first legal one, then the second one. I think it was the second one that we brought, then we started bringing London DJs down,
How did you get the venue, Nev?
Well, the police.
Oh, the police! Not only did they say not only did the police say we want to help you get legal, they found you the venue.
They found the venue, yeah.
Wow!
Well, because we were playing cat and mouse with them. They'd had enough of us, and so because they were onto it. They had the Acid House Squad on. Then they were confiscating sound systems, lighting, stuff like that, and it was costing them too much money. So they said, look. So it was through Mickey, yeah, God rest his soul. And we done the first legal rave at the Sky Blue Connection. Who was on the line up there? Was it Frankie Bones? Top Buzz? Did Top Buzz come on the first one? Yeah, because that's how I met Top. Well, I met Top Buzz down London flying for this event. This is a story. Yeah, I was in heaven in London. I said, I can go on a tangent here, can't I?
Yeah, go.
All comes
go for it, mate. I want to hear these memories.
So we went down. So then we started flying in other parts of the country. I think it was heaven in London. Yeah, and I think Fabian Groove Rider on. I went down there to fly it. So I'm in there, right? Raving. Bumped into this little. Jason, all right, mate, how you doing? All right, yeah. I said, can you get me any baked beans, mate? Yeah? And he's gone, yeah. Oh, just give me a minute. I know a bloke who's got a baked bean and that. So anyway, got a baked bean off him and that. And anyway, half an hour later, I've gone back out. I said, listen, mate, them baked beans are crap, mate, yeah? He's gone, nah, mate, just give it a bit of fucking time and that, yeah? So anyway, I got talking to him. He goes, what are you doing down here? You're from the north, I says, I'm down here, I'm rave promoting. He says, I'm the DJ, mate. They call us Top Buzz. I said, well, your E's ain't Top Buzz, but... So anyway, we got talking, and I think like he said, we DJ at the Astoria, and so I think this is when it started becoming legal all around the country then, weren't it? And anyway, he gave me this cassette, yeah? So I think I was me, Bam, I don't know if my brother Fred, I can't remember exactly who it was. So we're travelling back to Coventry, put this cassette in, and we were listening to this fucking like Top Bus set, and it was like, who wants to fly on top of the world? And, you know, two blacks in a bubble. And I was going, fucking hell, they're good, they are. So somehow I got in touch with Jason, I don't know, I must have changed numbers with him. And I said, do you want to come and play? So anyway, I remember this, like, so they've come down to the Sky Blue. Was it the first or second event? First one. Anyway, they've turned up, all like, oh, how's it going, you know, a few of the little boys with him and all that. And they went on early. So Patrick, him and that Mike went on early. And I think they were on for about 15 minutes. I've gone on, I said, get off. Yeah. And Patrick said, what's up? I said, you're too good, get off. I'm going to put you on later. And then, so I put them on later. They went down an absolute storm. Yeah. Now this was when Top Buzz was born in the Midlands. I think Top Buzz, like, because we had them all the time, and people would like Coventry people go, Nev, them Top Buzz, they were wicked. We loved them, and they just blew up. Patrick, Jason, Mikey, absolutely became huge in the middle. Became best friends. Like, you know, I've been their friends for 30, how long now? 36 years. 30, like, obviously, a hard thing when we lost Jason, because me and Jason were we spoke all the time on the phone. Like, you know, we were like, brother, you know, my Cockney brother, really. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that hurt when Jason
it was heartbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very hard, you know?
Yeah, because when I think of Amnesia House, I just put Amnesia House and Top Buzz together.
Yeah. I mean, before Jason, Mickey Linus, Mickey got married, you know, I mean, we were growing then, like, from the Sky Blue connection. Mickey passed away, which hit me and Bam Bam very hard. More Bam because it was his brother, but Mickey was like a brother to me. He passed away. That hit us hard as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there's been a lot of people over the years that have seen that pass. Like, I mean, Randall was at one of my events just before he passed, and I had a photo with Randall. And we've dedicated the last two drum and bass rooms to Randall. We've got the big banner up, like, dedicated to the legend Randall. Like, you know, there's a lot of people passed over the years, and Mickey and Jason in the scene, that hit us hard. Yeah. Another friend of mine, Floss, who was my top flyer, Floss Jones, he used to travel all around the country with me, mate. He'd fly the country for me, do you know what I mean? We lost him as well, you know? So there's a lot gone over the years.
Yeah, and especially as we get older, innit?
I don't forget them people. I'll do legacy sets for Jason. I've got Fades doing a legacy set at the next one in Liverpool, you know? So Top was legacy set with Mad P. We'll never forget Jason and Amnesia House, because they were a big part of Amnesia House, along with Groove Rider and people like that.
Big shout to Jason's wife as well.
Oh, Dylan,
absolutely gorgeous, lovely. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to well up, because the last time she come to my house, it was an emotional moment. Well, because they're beautiful people.
Well, I used to phone Jason regular, and he's with Dylan and that. Me and Jason are chewing the fat and all that, and she's listening and stuff like that. And she knows how close me and Jason were. He'd come to my house, and, you know, that was a hard time. Him and Mickey hurt us bad as well. It did.
Yeah. So 1990, the Sky Blue.
Sky Blue.
Did it just keep building and building?
Like, it was rammed. We were probably getting more than 1,500 in there. Like, it was ridiculous, you know. People coming from Manchester, London, Birmingham, Leicester. You know, this is when we started bringing the South DJs down. Your Groove Rider, your Fabios, like, you know, your Carl Cox. We had Carl Cox there.
Yeah, Matthew B and people like that as well.
We even flew Frankie Bones from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, we love Frankie. We love Derek May.
Derek May,
come
mate.
on.
Like, listen, them tapes are still legendary to this day. Now, Frankie Bones played for us, and he was on the microphone before his first record. And he says, how you doing, in his American accent? It's been 1 year to the day since I took my first one, if you know what I mean. Yeah? And the crowd loved it. And he went down to Storm, and we brought Frankie back 30 years later.
Yeah, we love Frankie.
Yeah.
Big shout, Frank.
Frankie Bones, man, from Brooklyn, New York, man.
Frankie still watches in on all what we do, and he often comments, and he often messages me.
Legend of
Frankie's
the game, mate.
Mate, pioneering legend, Don. Like back in them times, how would you? Was it expensive to get Derek May and Frankie Bones?
I was paying on 500 quid in them days, mate.
Wow.
Carl Cox.
And how much would a flight be? How much would a flight be?
I think he was in the country at that time anyway. Right, I think he was playing down London and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carl Cox, for instance, I mean, I think he's about 100 grand now. Carl, right, friend of mine, it was a New Year's Eve. I weren't doing any event on New Year's Eve, but I was doing a private party for me and my friends for 200 people, The Eclipse was still open that night. It was their night, the Eclipse. They were packed. I was doing a party in a pub called the General Wolf, 200 people, 3 decks set up, sound system, a little strobe and that. Carl Cox, he came from Fantasia, 15,000 on New Year's Eve, and come and played for me in a pub for 200 people for 500 quid.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the last time Carl played in Coventry, some guys done an event in Coventry with Carl Cox a couple of years back. They didn't know what they were doing. They come to me 3 weeks before the event was happening. They asked me to help them promote it. Carl came on stage with an Amnesia House t-shirt.
Love that. I see that picture.
The Ronaldo of the rave scene wore my t-shirt. And t-shirts were flying out. The website, the t-shirts are coming in.
Look how happy he is.
You know what I mean? Like,
I saw.
Me and Carl had the t-shirt on, and fair play to him. I sent him a couple of t-shirts, and he wore it at Brighton Beach as well. He did, because my mates were there. They videoed it, said, "Nev, Carl Cox is wearing your Amnesia t-shirt." So we've got me and Carl. We've got a history, Yeah,
that's an incredible.
I know his career now is. He's the Ronaldo of the rave scene, and fair play to him. You know what I mean? He's a humble man, and I'd love one more time, Carl. If you're looking at this, mate, come and play for Amnesia one more time, mate.
That would be
because you don't forget where you come from, do you?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I think we might have to go through a few management things and all that, and obviously I'll be looking for mates rates.
Yeah, put the old arm around him. Come on, Carl. Remember when you did it for 500 quid?
Knock a few noughts off for your old mate there.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I always like to get the noughts knocked off.
Yeah, of course.
Mate, mates rates,
you're never not going to lose that 89 promoter vibe and banter, are you? So into the clubs, how did you go from
right, so obviously we've done 6 events at the Sky Blue Connection, and they were just successful. And during that time then, the Stuart Reid and Baz Edwards, God rest his soul as well, he passed away, they got the Eclipse Club. The Eclipse, and they opened the Eclipse. I don't know what was that, 1990, something like that, was it? But anyway, what happened was at the Sky Blue Connection, we were doing them there once a month. A young lad at the Sky Blue Connection, he passed away. He didn't die at the Sky Blue Connection, he died down the road. Now, I don't think through narcotics or whatever. His name was Matty, God rest his soul. So the authorities let us do one more at the Sky Blue Connection after that. In the end, the village down the road, they'd had enough of all the, it's ruining their village, people walking around in the early hours of the morning, stuff like that. So we finished at the Sky Blue Connection. It was the last one. We'd done the last one there. And then, we didn't have nowhere to go then. We were looking for somewhere else, obviously. And then Stuart Reid and Baz Edwards, they got the Eclipse, and they were doing successful events at the Eclipse. That was the first legal venue in the UK.
And what kind of event, like rave events, they were doing?
They were doing raves.
They were doing
raves. It was like an old bingo hall. It was massive place, had a balcony. It's a bit similar to the Casbah that you were in, but obviously a bit more run down than that. And they had 3 floors. The bottom floor had the middle floor, and then the main arena. And they had the dance floor and the balcony round there. You could look down into the dance floor and that. And that was an amazing venue in Coventry. It blew up. Stuart Reid, they got Sasha doing a residency on Fridays. That was packed, rammed every Friday, and I went to see Stuart. I said, let Amnesia House in, but they wouldn't let Bam Bam or Mickey in because there was a fallout beforehand. So they allowed me to do Amnesia House in there, but they wouldn't allow my 2 partners in to do with it. So they had to sit at home. Yeah. Well, we're
What a
doing
story.
So they stayed at home, yeah, pissed off, obviously, you know, and they let, you know, I was running it for us and that, like, you know, and I mean, we made the Eclipse a lot of money, you know. They made a lot of money out of us, the pop and everything. We didn't have nothing of the pop and that. And I think eventually they did let Mickey and Bam in eventually, I think, like, you know, but...
How many parties did they miss then?
I think a few, because Big Baz, he was the heavy duty geezer of the venue. He was a bit of hard man, yeah. He had to run it with an iron rod because of drug dealers and stuff like that. He used to have undercover security in there because there was dealers. He'd set people up in there, like he'd write on a £20 note, fluorescent hat, I've got ya, and he'd get his undercover lads to go and buy pills off the drug dealers. And then they get pulled by the security downstairs under the fluorescent light. Obviously, drug dealers were quite clever. Some were holding the cash, you know. And then he'd catch them with the £20 notes or whatever, and then he'd put the hand on the table, and he'd have a hammer. And he said, "You better tell me who you're selling drugs for, or I'm going to break your fucking hand." Yeah, and that's the way he operated in there. Like, you know, it was his club.
Yeah.
It was his club. And he was quite a feared man. He was a feared man. Stuart was more laid back. Baz Edwards was a feared man. He was a hard man. He had a reputation in Coventry. Don't cross Baz. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like proper old school
Old
ways
school,
of running
but-
it. You couldn't get away with that now, could you, in the
but
world?
then, so you don't cross Baz, but here's a story.
But Nev
So-
being the 80s,
Yeah.
the 80s
So
football
this
man,
story is
Dorman.
this is notorious in Coventry. So I had banging tunes opposite the Eclipse.
Yeah.
Like banging tunes.
What year did you open Banging
Banging
Tunes?
tunes, 91, I think.
91,
Yeah.
right, okay.
So we had banging tunes across from the Eclipse. We started up with Luke. Luke was a young lad. He said, "Nev, listen, I want to do this record shop. I want to call it Banging Tunes. Will you do it with me?" And that, because he sort of looked up to me because I was doing the raves and that. And I said, "Yeah, sound." So we started the Banging Tunes record shop up. And we got the logo, the little baby logo. I don't know if you've seen the baby
Yeah, it's
logo.
brilliant. Yeah.
Toz did a lot of designs on it. The baby on the decks, the baby with the gun. And we started a record label. Neil Tricks got involved then. They were doing the record label, FBD project, stuff like that. Anyway, well, I had the shop across the road and, you know, everything was going great. And anyway, one day, in the day, you know, midweek, Big Bad Bad's come out the Eclipse. He said, "Nev, come here, mate." So I've gone over, you know, "What, Baz? Yeah, what?" He says, "You better tell your brother and his mates stop selling drugs in my club." And I turned around, I says, "You fucking tell him, I ain't telling him." So the next thing he's run after me, I've gone, "Fuck off at that, I've legged it." Yeah, because he was a feared man. So anyway, I've gone back into banging tunes. Anyway, I've looked across the street, because the shop was right directly across from the Eclipse. And I clocked Baz coming over. He had a bar in his iron bar in his hand. So I had CS gas. I've come out into the street. I said, "Come on then." So he was going to cave me head in, like, yeah. So he backed off then, because I had the CS gas, football, like, you know, bit of gas, mate, you're getting gassed, like. So that was that. Then the next thing is the phone was going. Baz wants the one-on-one with me, wants a fight with me. And
How old was Baz? So, is he older than you?
50s, 40s, 50s, was
At
it?
that time, right.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
He was a feared, listen, not a man to be crossed.
A nice face of the
So he
of the
wanted
era.
a one-on-one with me, and I was only a little geezer. I was about 10 and a half, 11 stone, but fit as a fiddle. And I says, "All right, I'll have the one-on-one, but I ain't having it in the club. I want to do it on a park so I could jab a move, you know, like, because if he gets older, he's going to bite my nose off, my ears off, everything, because he was like, you know, and he didn't want to fight in a park. So in the end, I thought, fuck it. I'll go in the club then. So this is the daytime in the club. There's a few of my mates there, Pee-wee, Fatty Smith, a few other lads. There was a guy, Mick Gochek, he was the referee, got searched for weapons. So it's Mr. Eclipse v Mr. Amnesia in the main dance floor of the Eclipse in the day, yeah? Right? Lads on the balcony, only a few people watching on the front. So there's me, David and Goliath, yeah? So anyway, we're there, like, so we're squared up. So I'm like, you know, bobbing around like a box, bang, bang, jabbing in. Good shot, Nev. I was going, fuck, bang, bang. And like, I was faster than him, but he was a big brute. He kept coming. you know, weight factor and all that, like, you know, and we had a fight for about 10 minutes, yeah, and I was working, like, and I thought, if he gets hold of me, I've had it, yeah. In the end, we got into a bit of a clinch. Sorry about doing all the moves.
No, I love it. It makes it an even better
story. It was a bit of a clinch. Anyway, he got me, you know, we're talking, he was 16 stone. I was about 10 and a half, 11 stone, and he got on top of me, yeah. And he banged me, yeah, and I thought he was going to bite my nose off, everything. And fair play, I said I've had enough. I couldn't get him off me. I didn't have the strength to get him off me, for one. And if I hadn't give in, I probably wouldn't have been here today, because he would have probably carried on. Anyway, we got up and we shook hands like men. We used them, yeah, like men. And he weren't seen for a week after. He had 2 black eyes, yeah. And he said, "See that little bastard, fair play to him." Like, he stood up to me like a man, and we had it, and we shook hands after. And that was that.
And it didn't affect your relationship in the venue anything?
The next time I actually seen him was at a boxing event. We were in the toilet having a piss, like, and he said, "All right, Nev, how you doing?" I said, "All right." He said, "Do you fancy a return?" I said, "I put a bit of weight on now, Bat." Yeah, you know, having the crack, like. But yeah, you know what? I respected him, and he respected me. And we had that. Yeah, with the fists, and technically he won because I got stopped. But I reckon if it had went to points, I would have won on points.
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What a story!
Yeah, so yeah, we respected each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he was a feared man. He had to run that club in the end, mate. It got a bit moody, like towards like the start.
How long was you in that venue for?
A good few years. Then we got too big for the Eclipse. We were.
How many people did it hold, Nev?
I think it was 2. Was it capacity 2,000? But some nights we had 3,000 in there, mate. Yeah.
Wow.
There was one night. I think it was. Was it New Year's Eve? Was it New Year's Eve? It was snowing, and the snow was bad all over the country. And we were going to we had a hotline. The hotline. People kept phoning on the hotlines. The Rave still. We were going to cancel it, but we thought, you know what? We'll just carry on. And the 2,000 people turned up in the snow. And we still done it. And we were that busy, I had to go to the back door, I had a black bin bag, putting £20 notes in, letting people in the back, and then going to the front, letting people in the front. It was crazy.
Because it's legendary, isn't it?
The Eclipse.
Amnesia House Eclipse, it's a legendary...
Listen, we were massive there, but the Eclipse in itself, they were doing their own events, new age events. They had done their own. Listen, they smashed it as well. But we made them a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. You know, they were making more money than me because they had all the pop and there was no alcohol. This was an alcohol-free zone. Yeah, obviously there was baked beans all over the shop. That's why he was trying to catch all the drug dealers because it was his club and he weren't having it in there.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
Not 1991. You got the record shop.
Yeah,
hardcore music is the sound of the UK. Totally different music to 88, 89, and you keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And it was how quickly it grew. It was just unbelievable. Like then we started sort of trying to think, this is becoming a bit of business now, and then from the Eclipse, we ended up in another club in Shelley, Stoke-on-Trent. We got approached by Daz Willott. I think he approached Mickey Linus. And Sasha was doing the Friday nights in this at Shelley's, and he was ramming it on a Friday. And they offered us the Saturday night in Shelley's, which was an amazing place.
And how big was Shelley's?
Shelley's, I think he got 1,500 people in there. He was sweat. I mean, the sweat was coming off. It was proper old school place. And we put one flyer out for that club, and we rammed it on the opening night. We never put another flyer out again. Yeah, and it was packed every Saturday night.
And how long did you do that for?
A couple of years, wasn't it? A couple of years.
So you was in Coventry, and you was up in
Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, we used to do events in Birmingham on a Wednesday night in the Dome, in Sharon and Tracy Club. We'd have Enjoy and people like that playing. So, Amnesia House and that, it was like opportunities were coming up all over the shop, sort of thing, We ended up in Manchester. We'd done the Academy in Manchester. This is a story to do with Shelley's as well. We had the Prodigy and Carl Cox in the Academy in Manchester on a Friday night, and it was packed. And then on the Saturday, we're doing the Shelley's. And the Prodigy, we ended up back at the hotel on the session with Liam and Lee all on the sesh. And they said to Mickey, "You're doing Shelley's tomorrow?" Yeah. And they said, "Yeah." He said, "We'll come and play tomorrow for free." yeah, for free.
What a story.
So anyway, the crowd never knew. Surprise PA in Shelley's, the Prodigy, done a surprise PA for us the next night in Shelley's.
That's incredible, isn't it? Like
Do you know what I mean?
You think in 1991. Now it's all like promoting is so clinical. It's like people would look at what you're doing in 1991 of you're growing the brand and you're touring the brand. But you
just
were
happened.
organic.
It just happened. You know, the Amnesia name, really, for some reason, Amnesia, I don't know, the name Amnesia House was growing all over the place. And we were getting too big for the Eclipse, you know? It's like, we outgrew the Eclipse. And how we went to the next level, this is like the Eclipse, the next level was Donington Parks. And Mickey got approached by a guy called Paul Bernstein, was it? Yeah. And they had Donington Park. Now, they were called Nemesis, yeah? And they approached Mickey and said, listen, we've got Donington Park. I think they'd done one in Donington Park themselves, but I didn't think they sold it sort of thing. It was for 10,000 people, big, massive warehouse. So Mickey came to me and Bam said, look, we've been offered Donington Park, yeah? So 10,000 people. And this Nemesis firm, now, he seemed all right. I didn't 100% trust him. Bam never either. Mickey was like, look, we'll be all right. We'll go in here. We'll do this. So we went in with them and done the event. We got paid a few quid, but we didn't. They had us over.
You didn't feel right about
it? No, they had us over. We'd done 3 or 4 events there. We had Rosella, we had all the big names in there. We had Prodigy, the whole shaboo. Anyway, it was building up to this biggie, like it's this one here, the Book of Love. I think a lot of people will remember that. We've done 4 events in the in Donington, and the Book of Love was Brayfield Stadium, yeah, the biggie. And I just wanted to do a big rave. Mickey said, we've been offered Brayfield Stadium with this Nemesis crew and that. Now, this Nemesis crew, they had a few gangsters around them and that as well. I was onto it, but I didn't trust them, yeah. So anyway, the Book of Love, Brayfield Stadium, the stage was set. Mickey, for some reason, he said, I want to get married on stage. I said, Mick, you're not getting married on stage. We're doing a big rave, mate. He said, no. He used to call me Norman the Dorman, yeah. If you could read the history of that there, like, you know. And in the end, Mickey went on a television programme. It was Time and a Place or something like that, where people wanted to get married in strange places. And he was on national TV with Tareen, his wife-to-be. I said, where do you want to get married, mate? People want to get married jumping out of aeroplanes. And Mickey said, I want to get married at a rave. Like, yeah, and that was his dream. Like, yeah. So in the end, me and Bam reluctantly agreed. All right, so this firm Nemesis, they had the venue, they had it all set up, everything. Yeah. Now this rave was absolutely amazing. Fabio done DJ Fabio first set, which was one of the best sets I've ever heard in the rave scene. Anyway, during the day, we're building up to the ceremony, so I got on the mic. They used to call me Lad and Nasty on the mic. I weren't a very good MC, but I got the crowd going. Do you know what I mean? It was my rave, I could do what I want, so it's my microphone. So I said, my partner, he had a dream. He wanted to get married in front of 15,000 people, yeah? I was going, what do you think about that then? And the crowd, they went crazy, yeah? Right, and then we brought Mickey out. Now, Mickey was an eccentric fella, yeah? Glasses, Mick Bowen glasses, like, you know, Mickey is in the suit, and he was going to the crowd, yeah, and the crowd were going mad. And the next thing is, I said, we've got a vicar here. I think his name was Trevor. Was it Trevor? And we've got a vicar. He's come out on the stage, yeah? And the vicar, here's the vicar. And then there's one more person, the bride. And Groove Rider, Mickey asked Groove Rider to be the best man. And Groove Rider, who's a very good friend of mine, Groove is, he walked the bride out. He was in his tuxedo. He had all his boys with him. They were all suited and booted. And we done the ceremony on the stage. Do you take this man to be your lawful wedding? Does his wife this, that? And then the vicar goes, we now pronounce you man and wife. And I've got the mic going, he did it. Yeah, the crowd, I can't remember, what was the tune? I can't remember that. Who? Frankie Knuckles' tune, like, yeah. So me and Mickey's down at the front of the stage, bottles of champagne, spraying the crowd. The love in this stadium, It was
15,000 people.
15,000 people was immense. And and then me and Mickey were shaking the crowd's hands and this and that. And the whole event, in my opinion, no one had ever done anything like that, yeah. Mickey Finn's mentioned it, Groove Rider, Jumping Jack Frost. You ask all them, if you ever get them on your podcast, you ask them about that.
The Book of Love.
Yeah.
A Midsummer Night's Dream, and just reading through it. Groove Rider, Fabio, Mickey Finn, Carl Cox, Jumping Jack Frost, Stu Allen, R.I.P.,
God
Top
rest
Buzz,
him.
Jason, R.I.P., Man Paris, Loud and Nasty, Live PAs, The Prodigy, Enjoy, Dream Frequency, plus a massive surprise.
Who's the massive
PA.
boy? 808 State, was it?
808
State. Back of the net.
And for you, that is one of the... the greatest
that
rave
was
you've
the
ever
pinnacle.
put on.
We got to the pinnacle then. This is where we moved into the Premiership, yeah? Which we thought, yeah?
Oh,
now
what we thought.
We thought we'd moved into the Premiership, right, yeah? So then anyway, after the event, yeah, time to divvy the dough. We never got no dough, yeah? Never got paid, yeah? Big fallout, yeah?
15,000 people.
This Nemesis crew, they were gangsters. I think the gangsters were into him anyway, yeah? He was driving a flash sports car, Paul. I mean, he's passed away now, so I'm not going to speak bad about him. I don't wish anybody dead. But anyway, they built up to have us over, yeah? And then, because they weren't seen after that. Anyway, Fiery Nev, yeah? I'm raging. I'm going to go and fill him in and all that, like. But then I got threatened by certain people. You better fucking leave it. And I thought, you know what? It ain't worth it, because it got a bit heavy then. Do you know what I mean? It didn't get with them, it got heavy. So there was a fallout. Mickey went his way. Mickey started Dance Trance up of Dance Planet. Mickey done the anniversary to that event a year later at the Sanctuary and rammed it. Mickey did. Fair play to him. It was his wedding, but it was all our wedding. So anyway, me and Bam, we went back to the Eclipse. We were doing dudes at the Eclipse. You know, went back with the tails between the legs. I didn't have a lot of fucking dough or anything like that. We should have went on then to be like Cream and things like that, you know. And there was a big fallout and stuff, which weren't very nice, you know. That they had us over, that Nemesis firm and that, which, you know, so it hurt.
Yeah.
Because we done that, yeah. All right, they infiltrated us. Yeah, they needed us to do that, and they weren't straight players, you know. And it got a bit heavy, and I didn't want to get into any gangster world. I was up for a row, but I thought, you know what, fuck, I ain't.
Yeah, it's a different world, isn't it?
As time went on, I thought, I'm not going down that route. Do you know what I mean? And we walked away. So anyway, me and Bam, we decided to go to the Sanctuary ourselves, and we started an event up, Amnesia House, back with a vengeance.
Right.
You know, like, so we done the Sanctuary, and you know what? It was out of our area. It weren't that successful, really.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's have a little look.
Yeah.
So
we called it Back with a Vengeance.
And you feel you didn't come back with a vengeance?
Nah, it didn't.
Right.
It weren't the same vibe, if you know what I mean.
There's some lineup though, mate. Fabio, Ryder, Frost, Doc Scott, Ratty, Top Buzz, Neil Tricks, Luke, the Roughage Crew, Live PA, the Rat Pack. Yeah, so and was this running at the same time? So the Edge, that the Eclipse become the...
What date was that there?
This is 1993.
Yeah, so the Eclipse and that was still going. Was the Edge to become the Edge and that?
Eclipse become the Edge, and you were still in there? You were still in...
I don't think we were we?
Right.
Oh, no, we went back to the Eclipse after the Book of Love. We done a couple of events and that, and then we decided to go to the Sanctuary as well, because Mickey done his anniversary there.
Yeah.
And Mickey rammed it, his anniversary.
So you felt we should go and have
give it a go ourselves, like, you know. So that's when things started to change a lot then, you know. It weren't the same.
The dynamic
of
Mickey,
it.
You'd gone a separate way to Mickey.
Parted our ways. Me and Bam stayed together, trying. In the end, me and Bam parted ways. In the end, I sort of like was in a bit of debt.
I guess having Gangsters stitching you up is different to having a straightener with the local Dorman who everyone fears and respects.
Yeah, so it got a little bit moved. I mean, we've done events in the what was it? The place in Birmingham, the big bank holiday bashes in Birmingham at the Institute. We've done some over there. We're still operating.
Yeah,
but it changed then. The scene changed a little bit. You know, when the jungle music come out and that, and we always went with your groove riders, your Fabios, your Jumping Jack, like Bam Bam, we always used to say, like, we should have went the Sasha way,
Right.
the more softer way. You know, like, do you know what I mean? But we stayed underground.
Rough, rugged and raw, I've often thought about that, about some of us in London, like when there was that point in time where we, 91, where we'd play everything, like house, hardcore, Belgian rave. And then as time goes on, whether it's the surroundings, our other DJ mates, whether it's the vibe that we felt.
Yeah.
But I often think, I wonder what would have happened if we'd have gone with the house records that we were playing. But we never, because of like who we are and the vibe that we wanted, we ended up going more rough and rugged.
Because we wanted to stay underground, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, Sasha, he became massive, didn't he? Like, you know, he was big, like, and we never went that way. We went the other way.
Yeah.
Bam Bam always said we should have went that way.
But I think if we...
I don't know.
Do you know what? I think,
it's in hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But if we hadn't have done that, whether it's you in the Midlands, whether it's all of our London friends, then we wouldn't have the unique heritage that we've got. We have a unique...
That's it. I mean, we had the Sashas and that playing for us anyway. You know, we didn't just, like, you know... Yeah.
Yeah, so when do you think Amnesia House sort of really come to an end and you thought to yourself, well, you know what?
Well, yeah,
new
I think
things, new
like
beginnings.
Bam left. I done another event in Birmingham at the Q Club, and again, I went in with someone else again, another bloke again, who I didn't have no dough. He backed me in this event, and he ripped me off as well. Do you know what I mean? Another so-called gangster. He had me over as well, like, you know. So I still hadn't learnt my fucking lesson, but this guy would always try, he'd always wanted a part of Amnesia House. Never let me come in, I'll back you. He was a bit of a gangster, a bit of a drug dealer or whatever, and all that. I had no dough. He backed me, got ripped off again at the Q, rammed the Q Club, and he had me over as well.
Hey, do you know what fascinates me, Nev? He's like, you're a stand-up geezer who don't take shit from no one.
Yeah.
And like, but obviously, like you said at the start of it, if you'd have had a business brain,
it would have been different.
It would have been different. But because what would you have been? 25, 26?
Something like that.
You're still young.
Yeah.
You're still proper young, but and you're fiery.
Yeah. I wish, you know, like you say, it's like people like Stuart Reid. They were business people, so they were. I was good at what I did. I had to get people in.
Yeah, well, you're a big personality.
A business side of things, I weren't business orientated. I was good at what I did, but I'm a bit more business orientated now.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson.
You're older and wiser.
And I don't bring other people in no more. You know, like I'm in charge now. Bam's left. Like Bam got involved with me back. We've done a 30-year celebration. I went to Bam, you know, because he's my lifetime friend. I said, look, Bam, I'm going to do 30 years. Would you like to come in on it with me? And he did. And we went in on it, and it was successful. We flew Frankie over from America again. Frankie Bones. It went down a storm. 30-year celebration of Raves.
I bet he weren't as cheap as what you got him in.
He still looked after me.
Yeah,
he looked after me, and then I mean, I've done the 35-year celebration on my own. Like, we've done 3 parts, 35-year celebration of Rave 1, 2, 3, because we had so many DJs to fit in and that. And it's been going back. I've brought it back now for about 3-4 years.
It's a wildfire, mate.
Yeah.
In the modern era,
what it is, I was out of it.
I
got out of it. I mean, I actually moved to Lanzarote. You know, like, I got out of the rave scene for a good few years. I bought a bar in Lanzarote. That failed. Yeah. I should have went to Ibiza. You know, because I was well known. I don't know why I went to Lanzarote.
Right.
But at the time, I was suffering post-traumatic stress. Like, I got held up in my house by some gunmen. Yeah.
Right.
I was doing to catering. I had burger wagons and cafes, stuff like that. And I was out the rave scene. And this one night, I used to get up at 5 in the morning. This one night, a knock's come to the door at 10 o'clock at night. My son, I thought it was my son's mate. I've gone to the window. I said, Ryan, one of your mates are there. Anyway, he's opened the door. 3 black guys come in, balaclavas. I'm at the top of the stairs with my boxer shorts, come running up, put a shooter to my head. I said, where's your fucking money? I've gone, whoa. I said, the money downstairs, yeah? This was like being in a movie, this was, yeah?
What year?
What year was that? I can't remember that. It was after, I'd say, 2000 and 10.
Right.
My daughter, look, she's 21, 22 now. She was about 2 at the time. So, say 19 years ago. I was at the rave scene. I was become a businessman doing burgers, hot dogs and cafe. So this is like a movie, yeah? So anyway, they got me downstairs. I had $3,000 in the drawer. Opened the door. $3,000. They said, they pistol whipped me, yeah? Right? We know you've got more money than this, yeah? Now, they had my son on the floor now.
How old's
16,
your boy?
just left school, yeah?
Bless him,
My
yeah.
daughter was in the bedroom upstairs. The missus at the time was pleading, please don't go. Anyway, the little lad upstairs was searching all the rooms, found my safe in the bedroom, and shouted down to the two that had us under bay, keys to the safe. So I said, keys are there. They said, they made me come upstairs and open the safe. They thought they'd hit the jackpot, yeah? Anyway, I opened the safe, there was no money. The week before, there was a lot of money in the safe, so I'd done a fucking big show and that, so they'd come the wrong week. Anyway, I got pistol whipped, got battered, freaked out. They'd gone. It was like a 10, 15-minute ordeal in my house, like being in a movie. You know, you see these things in movies, people coming in your house with shooters. Phoned my brother. Anyway, this done my head in completely. Now, I didn't realise how much it affected my son as well. Like, now, I ran away from Coventry, Daniel, because of this. I sold my house. I sold my burger wagons, the cafe. I ran away. I left my son because I wasn't with his mother at the time. I left him, and I didn't deal with my son. I was suffering from post-traumatic stress.
Right.
And I was having treatment off a psychologist, and they were giving me treatment for like a Vietnam War veterans, and they give me probes in my hands. I had to shut my eyes and think about this night that happened. And then when you're having bad thoughts, Neville, think about a safe place. And I thought about a place in Thailand where I was sitting on a beach in Thailand. It really helped me out. But I was suffering post-traumatic stress. I became an aggressive person again. I was not a nice person to be around. And I just decided I need to get away from this city because it cabbaged my brain. And I was going to do something because I found out who put these people onto me. And I was going to become a gangster. I nearly became a gangster that one time. And I got stopped from doing what I was going to do by my brother and my friend Froggy. And I just ran away from Coventry for a good few years.
Wow.
To clear my head. Because I probably wouldn't be sitting here now if I hadn't.
And how do you think you got over that? What was like the process?
The process was to get away from that city that I lived in, because I was thinking, what have I done so bad to anybody that want to do that to me and my family? Yeah. Now, it's still affected my son to this day, like, you know, because I think I let my son down because I left him, you know, like, but my head weren't right, and it affected my son later on in life a little bit as well. And I feel like I let him down, sort of thing,
right,
by fleeing the country. And like even my brother and that was saying, Nev, what are you doing? Where are you going? So I'm off. I'm getting out of this city. I had to get away.
Yeah. And you still have flashbacks now?
Not so much now,
right,
but it was bad. And I was driving around Coventry like a lunatic, looking
for
going to do something. Like, and I'm glad I never.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what comes around goes around, yeah? I bet them people are probably locked up now somewhere, like doing life.
Because for
you know
me,
what I mean?
like, and I say this in an endearing way, you are like the ultimate man. You're like, you are that man who like everyone looks up to, sturdy, solid, been through the mill, know when to choose your battles and know when not to, and like, it even with your brawn and with your like energy, to hear you be so candid about that is like emotional just to hear because like everyone goes through stuff.
Listen, we all do stuff, but when it's the family side of things that they cross the line. Yeah. Yeah. Now I never crossed that line. I had the punch ups and stuff like that. I had a tool. I never used a tool. I weren't into that. If they had a problem with me and you, outside, car park, have a punch up, we'll shake hands, buy each other a drink. But that part of my life, it ruined me up there.
I could imagine, mate.
Yeah, and I ran away and I bought a bar in Lanzarote. I lost everything financially because out there, the bar was running okay at first. Third year, the resort became all-inclusive. There was no one coming out of the hotels. I had a bar, we weren't making no money. I ended up back in Coventry. and I was sleeping on my sister's sofa. I had nothing. So I've hit the rock bottom.
Yeah.
But I come back with, all right, I hit rock bottom because of the financial side of things and that. I lost everything and all that, yeah. But it made me pick myself back up again.
Love
you know,
that.
like, I thought, you know what?
Come on.
Come on.
Come
Like
on.
return.
Yeah, because Nev,
yeah,
right,
you know, like so.
we need to get into that. We
Yeah.
need to get into our one of the ace faces of Coventry.
Yeah.
Right, literally.
Yeah.
I see you as an ultimate man.
Yeah.
How you go from the trauma of your family being held up and going through that, to running away, as you call it, to losing all of your money. What does Nev do to dig deep and come out of that and just still being so flamboyant, laughing about things?
Yeah.
What did you go through to get back to the person?
Well, I had to go and clear my head completely, like from that situation, you know, like, and by being in Lanzarote, it was a nice lifestyle, and it weren't. You know, in hindsight, really, I wish I had went to Ibiza, but it don't matter, too late now. But I had a nice family bar out there. Yeah, my kids were coming out to see me. It was a nice. I liked it. I was helping out a lad with a boxing club out there. I was doing corner work in an open air, but I loved it, and I didn't really want to earn a lot of money. I weren't looking. I was looking for more quality, a lot, which it was, but then financially, I couldn't even earn the money to live out there in the end. It sucked everything out of me, every penny I had. And then when I got back, I had my big John Fivey, God rest him. Obviously, I left a lot of debt in England. I thought, you know, I'm off, mate. I ain't paying you nothing back. But when I got back to England, obviously they tracked me down then. And my old man said, Neville, why don't you go bankrupt? And I said, he said, it only cost you £300. That was Big John. He said, you don't own a house, they can't do fuck all to you. So I thought, you know what, Dad? I owed about 80, 90 grand in loans and credit cards and this and that. I went in front of the judge, yeah. I see, Mr. Fivey, you've lost your business in Lanzarote, this, that. You've got no assets, you've got no nothing. And I declare you bankrupt. And that was it. Cost me £300. A year later, I'm up and running again. Like, so I started working again. I was doing sales, sales, knocking doors, doing insulation, loft insulation, cavity wall insulation. I was on the comeback then, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took it all in your stride.
Took it all in my stride. I was training in the gym again, getting myself fit.
Yeah.
Because when I train,
springing your step.
Springing my step, back on the rope, skipping, bag work, training, working, kids, grandkids. Back in the game.
Yeah, love that.
Back in the game.
And then how does Amnesia House come back?
The rise back. So what it is, I mean, because I was doing other events called Kushti and stuff like that, just little events at the Planet. I'd done New Generation before I'd done a New Generation event without Amnesia House before my demi, and it was an old school thing at the the Coliseum. But it's the Kaz bar, and that was successful with the Rat Pack and that. So I was still flitting in there, but I weren't using Amnesia House because the guy that backed me in the Q Club, he opened up a limited company, and he thought he owned. So he basically stole Amnesia House off me a little bit. So he decided to do an Amnesia House event on his own. He pulled in Man Paris to help him, yeah. Because he opened a limited company. So he done a Amnesia House event at the Aston Villa Leisure Centre, right, without me, because I was Amnesia House. I was the voice of Amnesia House. So he'd done this event and it flopped, yeah. And I was over the moon, like, I says, you're wrong, and like, flopped. And then I decided to do New Generation. And on the flyer, I wrote on the flyer, the person behind this event is Neville from Amnesia House. New Generation rules the nation. And I fucking rammed this club, like, you know, because obviously everybody knew who Neville was. And then the guy that stole it off me, he ended up, because I was doing a few bits with him in that, and he come and made me sign something to go as a director. You know, they have the director in a limited company,
yeah,
and
of course,
and he got nicked. He got done for some dodgy shit. He got a long time in jail and that. And then I decided one day, I think I spoke to, I said I want to do a 25-year Summer of Love reunion. And I was going to do it in Coventry, and something happened in this venue in Coventry. 2 young lads got seriously hurt in Coventry. So I moved it to Birmingham. And I went back to Bam. I said, Bam, do you want to come in on this with me? Back the old team back together, yeah? So me, him, Lisa and that, his Mrs. Lisa. And we moved the event from Coventry, because this venue was a no-no, because 2 people got hurt in this venue, God rest these kids' souls, right? And we moved it to Birmingham to a warehouse, and it was called the Summer of Love Reunion.
Boom.
Back. You were there, Todd, playing, weren't you? And it was amazing.
And that was it. You got
so I got the itch back
buzz.
again.
You got the buzz
itch was back,
mate.
like, and I think we done another one then at that. Did we do another one after that in Coventry? Was it the Empire? And yeah, and then I think we stopped again. Then didn't we? We stopped again. And then I think I'll come back for the 30-year one, the 30-year celebration of Rave. That was in my peanut. I said to Bam, I want to do a 30-year celebration of Rave since we started the rave scene off. Bang, booked Frankie Bones, we had a big top burrs, we had the line-up, didn't we? And that blew up again there, smashed it again. So it was back in the blood again then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and how do you feel it, you're like promoting Brain? Because like just hearing you talk, like you're just a natural promoter. You're a natural people's person.
Yeah.
The money quite clearly was never at the heart of why you did it. You just wanted to see everyone together.
Yeah.
How has promoting changed from then to now? How does your older brain in a modern world cope with that?
It's a good question, right? Yeah, because obviously the social media side of things. Now, I'm no good on computers, yeah? Now, my missus, she's probably like your missus, yeah? She's the does all my admin, all the spreadsheets. We argue like anything in the office.
Yeah, of course, that's
which
the way
is,
it goes.
you know, part and parcel of it, isn't it? Like, yeah. But then I've got a social media geezer, yeah, right, he's a nice bloke, but he's hard work sometimes. He's good at it.
Yeah, well, any social media person, computer geeks, imagine all of the figures they have running
the
down their
marketing
phone.
side of it, he's good at that, yeah. My daughter Demi does Instagram. She's shit hot on that. Toz, he designs all my stuff for social media. I phoned him at 6 a.m. Someone, Toz, have you done that? Have you done this? He said, never really just woke up. Like. Do you know? But so I've got a team round me, yeah. But I still do the old school promoting. I can't help myself. My missus says, what are you doing that for? I said, because not everybody's on social media, yeah, right? Which they're not. And I go around boozers in Coventry, posters, walk in, everyone knows, all right, Nev, you doing? Yeah, you got another do, Nev? So, yeah, I've got paper tickets if you want them.
Love
you know,
it.
I'll go put boozers, hairdressers, cafes. I get 250, 300 posters. She said, you'll know. I said, no, I know. Not everybody knows. So my posters, before my events, are all seen all over Coventry. And Todd will tell you, Todd designs the poster for me, get them printed. I'm on the mission. I'm out,
still
like,
in that,
all my blue tack.
buzz.
I also, you know the flyers, you don't do these flyers no more, do you? But I do a flyer, I do a credit card flyer, yeah? So everyone's like always going to put a credit card in the back pocket, isn't they? Yeah? So I'm out at events or out on a night out and that, and I'll go, yeah, put that in your back pocket, I've got an event on. So when they're home after they've been pissed up the next morning, they've got that credit card, there's an Amnesia House event.
Yeah.
So I even done it in Ibiza just recently. It slipped back in time. Like we've been doing that for 3 years with Matt, and I got my little credit card flyer. I had Liverpool event on it, and on the other side I got Coventry event. I'm going around talking to all these ravers in the day. Hello, my name's Neville. I'm from Amnesia House. I'm doing a night here tomorrow night. I said I've got events in the UK. Got one in Coventry. My daytime events are amazing, and I've got an event in Liverpool. And I've got the QR code on it, and you can buy tickets straight away if you want. And I'm giving people that. So I'm always networking, no matter where I go. I've always got them credit cards on me.
You're mixing up your old school.
So the old school with the new stuff.
With the new style.
And I get told that the old school you shouldn't be doing it, but I do.
I always say, right, the best promoters I've ever played for, and I put this down to mine and Sonia's 29 years of promoting success, and I don't say this, I don't say this big-headedly, but I know the secret to the promoters. He's the personality of the person who fronts that event.
Yeah.
Who's like I said earlier, we want to be me, you, Sonia. We want to be at the door, greeting everyone, talking to everyone.
Well, my missus hates me on the door. Yeah,
so does mine actually, but we love being out there.
Because I come and she tells me to get off the door, because then there's people going, Nev, can you let him free?
Letting everyone in free, me. That's what
and listen, my missus, she don't take no shit. Fair play to her. And they'll go, look, Neville said I'm on the guest list. I said, well, you're not on no list here, so pay in and go and see Neville in there, So she gets fair play to her. She don't, her and the daughter do it, Tegan. So she don't take no shit, and she does a great job. Like, but every now and again, I'll pop in on the door and I'll do her head in. So I'll get told to go away.
Yeah. But listen, it's one of them though, Nev. Being the way you are and the personality and the heritage that you have. Whether you're on the front door, whether you're walking around your event, whether you're up on stage, everyone wants to have a catch up with you.
Well, what it is now, the thing is now, with this guest list thing, like, it irritates the life out of me a little bit, right? Now, people, right, they've all got their jobs, You're a decorator, I never ask a decorator to come and decorate my house for free,
I get that,
So, like, I had a bit of a dig of I don't know, a couple of years back. Someone asked me for a free ticket, and then I asked him if he'd decorate my house for free, and he fucking wouldn't. I don't get it. So what it is, I've started been doing now is he's raising money for charity.
Love that.
Right.
Love that.
So the last few events I've raised for the Mighton Hospice. My stepmother passed away in cancer in the Mighton Hospice. It's an amazing place, and the girl that does the fundraising now, I know her. And I said, look, so anyway, I've been having buckets at my events, and sometimes I have about 70 guests. So all the lads and these are people that I always put on the guest list anyway. So I said, listen, will you do me a favour? What it is, I'm collecting money for Mighton Hospice. You don't mind putting a tenner in when you come in. I don't demand it. And they go, yeah, Nev, no problem. I have a sign at all Amnesia House goes, please kindly make a donation for the Mighton Hospice. And I went to the Mighton Hospice with 800 quid, 1,000 quid, I raised some money the last event for one of my friends who sadly passed away. That was just crazy.
That was really emotional.
Yeah, you were there, weren't you? Fraser, weren't it?
You did it at the end of end of my set. Yeah,
his wife.
No, it's lovely that you do that.
Yeah,
because
at the end of the day, like, I'll let them people in anyway.
Yeah.
Do us a favour, I'll let you in free. I don't ask you to buy me a pint of lager or anything else. I don't want it. But some people poke 20s and 30s in. And I'm doing it every event now. I'm thinking, give back.
Mate,
it's a good cause.
It's a lovely thing to do, and charity gets brought up a lot on these podcasts with us all as we get older. Like I founded a charity, and lots of people have come up to the shows, do their charity work,
course,
and it's not work. It's something. It's something you can do. You've gathered 1,000, 1,500 people.
Yeah.
You're looking after people, friends of friends or girlfriends and all that, and it's like you don't want that. You've made it quite clear you ain't really cared about money when you're putting on parties. It's just now and again you do think, fuck me, if that hadn't have happened, I'd have made a bit more. But it's a nice thing to do to just say, come on, man, like put a little bit in the pot, and you're not even taking that.
And what it is, because my missus, because she gets it on the door and that, can you put some money in, please? It's for charity. And some of them moan about it. I said, well, if they do moan, tell them they ain't coming in.
Yeah, I agree.
And she's quite stern. At the end of the day, the bucket's there. It's a Mighton Hospice on the buckets, going to a cancer charity, because they need money, and the person I'm letting it, because she'll tell me if someone moans about putting a poxy tenner in.
You couldn't embarrass yourself. You couldn't embarrass yourself.
I'll land on them arm and I'll say, you're out of order, mate, Put 30 quid in there for that.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Mate, I agree.
What's a tenner like, you know what I mean?
I love playing for you at that event. Like, do you know what it was?
Well, you went down a storm, didn't you?
Do you know what? Your last event, right? Yeah. Because heritage is important to me. Heritage is really important, and other people's heritage is important. And it's quite mad that it's the first time I'd ever played for you, but it feels like we've known each other
Yeah.
forever.
But when we do talk, we go on.
Oh, mate, yeah.
We can't get off the phone.
Listen, if Neville rings me and I'm doing something,
Yeah, so
I
bad
can't
luck,
answer because it's like,
Yeah.
if Neville rings, I want to talk to him for hours on
Yeah,
end.
because we do. We have a couple of times, didn't we? Like,
And the thing is like, we're both from similar eras, 89, 88, 89,
Yeah.
90. You being a promoter, me in a record shop, me starting out DJing. You're an underground rave promoter. You're the kind of promoter and the kind of
I mean, all the
person
DJs, Dan,
who I
sorry to put it
respect
in.
and look up to.
the
Yeah, go on.
DJs, like your Groove Riders, your Fabios, your Jumping Jack Frost and that, yeah, they're my friends. Now, I got a message, right, and it was a humble message. I'm just going to read this out to you. Let me have a look. It was after one of my events, yeah? And it was off Groove Rider, yeah, who's a very good friend of mine. And he says, "Yes, Nev. Once again, thank you for having us. Always a pleasure to see you, man. Amnesia House has probably been my favourite organisation since I've been doing this. I love you a lot. So glad you've continued doing it. Mickey would be proud of you, boss. Much love and respect. And I'd love for you to come to our show at the Royal Albert Hall, man. It would be an honour if you could attend, sir." And you know what? I texted him a message back. I said, "Oh, Groove, man, you know." And we've just got that relationship. Like, we don't see each other all the time, but you're talking like 35, 36
It's
years.
concrete
And
respect.
Groove Rider, right, he was voted Amnesia House's #1 DJ. And we've always had him as our #1 DJ from back in the day.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? And Fabio, when I see him and that, we talk, we chew the fat, you know, like, and Groove, because I used, at some of my events back in the day, I was off my rocker, but Groove loved that. They give us that mic, loud and nasty.
Yeah.
Right now, the ones and twos is Amnesia House's #1 DJ, Groove Rider.
Love it.
Like, that message to me, it
mate,
you
it's
know what?
goosebumps.
It touched me, that did.
Yeah.
And respect to Groove and Fabio and Top Birds, Jumping Jack Frost, all of them, Carl Cox, their careers. I'm proud of their careers.
Yeah.
Like, that orchestra and stuff like that. I'm thinking, you know what? Wicked.
Yeah, no,
Do you know what I mean? Nice to see them people from all them years ago. They
Showing
hit the
the love
pinnacle
and
of
they're
their
going
career.
up, yeah.
And I still haven't them play for me. The only thing is, I'm waiting to go and get Carl Cox back on. Like,
I love that. Yeah, like I say.
You know?
Really, you never know. You might get your couple of notes off that you want, innit?
Wow,
And he'll
well,
come. I think
Carl,
it'll be the nuts.
Come and see me in the office, mate.
Old school
Come
style.
on, Carl, you remember?
But listen, when I played for you, just your
Yeah.
your presence on the stage,
Yeah.
your family, your close friends,
Yeah,
artists
yeah,
you've worked
yeah.
with forever, mate.
Yeah.
Listen, when I come and played for you for the first time,
Yeah.
it was an occasion.
Yeah,
It weren't a booking for me.
Nah.
It was an occasion.
You
And
done the 2 sets as
yeah,
well,
and you were
didn't
going to me, "How much do you want?" I said, "Don't embarrass me
Yeah,
about
yeah,
money.
yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you were going, "I'll get you an hotel. Don't waste your fucking money on me."
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
occasion was there,
And it was special, weren't it?
Especially with Pat up there,
Yeah.
him getting on and singing. Me
yeah.
and Danny Lyons are really close.
Yeah.
Sonia was people
it
close
was-
to me
it
were
was,
there, and it was.
The last
I
event
felt-
was do you know what? What it is, I feel like each one I do now is getting better.
Good.
You know what I
Good.
mean? And it's got better and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, I think that shows your
Yeah.
passion and
Yeah.
love for it, and
Yeah.
your energy and your history and heritage. One in Coventry, but also all over the UK, whether
Yeah.
it's London DJs showing you the love,
Yeah.
your history in the Midlands,
Yeah.
further up, in the north.
I mean, everybody's been like just lately. The phone's been blowing up. Everybody wants to come and play for me. Like,
Yeah.
I says, "Look, I can't get you on the neck. I'm trying to fit people. I mean, I'm even doing new generation. My daughter Demi, I'm giving the kids a go. Yeah,
Yeah, good.
She's doing the garden terrace at the Casbah called New Generation. She's putting the young DJs. They're all buzzing because they're playing for Amnesia House, but they're bringing all their friends as well. So we've got the oldies in the old school. We've got the new. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
bringing it, and it's coming. It's like the old days. I know you can't recreate, but it brings everybody together.
And which is what
as
it's
one,
about.
As one.
Yeah.
We're all different. We've all different jobs and stuff like that.
I always think it might not. Of course, it's not the old days.
Yeah.
But I still feel like that there is gigs and there is moments that are. I'm going to say this that are better than the old days. That really are okay. Everyone might be much older, or the youngsters might have a different energy. But if we take your last event, the emotion and the atmosphere in that building is as good as any event I played at in '92.
It was. And your set was a wicked set as well. Like I came into the VIP area and listened to a bit. I think I had to get you. So you're on. Did I?
I think it might have been the opposite way around. I can't remember.
Yeah. You went down. So, but then now, like, I've got you playing in Liverpool as well.
That's
now,
it.
You're on your way to Liverpool.
Yeah, that's it. It's every
Here
time.
we
That's
go.
right.
Promoted again.
You're part. He's like that. He's like, you're part of the firm now.
Yeah, you're in, mate, but you got to travel a bit further.
I love who you've partnered up with, Lee.
Lee back to the dock.
We love Lee.
Listen, Lee reminds me, he's the Scouse Nev from up there.
Mate, let me tell you,
what I mean?
He's into his boxing. He's rough around the edges, but he's absolutely lovable.
Proper geezer. And he's been like, I got him to play at my last event in the VIP, and he brought a coach full of Scousers down and that. They're all saying, right, lad, how you doing, right? Nev, love it down here. Anyway, he's buzzing that he played for me, and he's been saying to me, he said, Nev, bring Amnesia up our way, lad. So anyway, I travelled up to this venue. This venue's a wicked venue. We're doing the daytime on the terrace, and then at 10 o'clock at night, you go underground into 2 tunnels, right? And this is proper old school. And there's 2 tunnels. It's like an air raid shelter.
Love that,
And it's underground. The sound systems, the Function 1 sound systems, and these 2 are... We've got Function 1 in our arena as well. I was like, wow, this is what you call underground, old school, proper, like back in the day. And Lee's buzzing, and I'm buzzing, like going to Liverpool. Because we've got a lot of followers from up north, do you know what I mean? From the Shelley days, and they used to travel to Amnesia House, to the Eclipse and stuff like that. So this time, we're coming to the north. We're travelling to them.
Nev, you're the last of a dying breed in the modern day generation, not just of promoting but also of human beings, right?
Thank you.
Like literally, you're one of a kind. I don't think there can ever or will ever be or needs to be another.
I don't think there's 2 Nevs. But now, like, listen, Loud and Nasty, that's my MC name.
Yeah.
But now they call me Loud and Nicey.
Loud and Nicey. Yeah, mate.
Nice to see you nice.
Boom, Nev, you're a brilliant geezer,
Loud
mate.
and nice.
Yeah, loud and nicey.
Yeah.
So all right. So in Liverpool, you can come and MC for me instead of shouting. You can get on the mic and go. Right, everyone, it's Loud and Nicey. We've got Billy Daniel Bunter now.
What it is,
Liverpuddians. Let's have some fun.
Well, Lee, because I don't really MC much now. Although I do a bit of promoting at the end of the event, so I look out for the next event. Lee said, Nev, put Loud and Nasty on there because you're well known up north and all that. Like, and I says, go on then, put me on. Even my daughter said, Dad, what are you doing on that flyer, mate? Thought you retired off the mic. So I might, you know what? I'm good at introducing, but then after that, get the mic off me.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Mate, it's an incredible story.
Yeah,
it's an incredibly humble story for someone who has had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people pass through your raves since 1988. And you can tell the bad times with a smile and an endearing story that hopefully will inspire people. And listen, you're a legend,
Cheers,
mate.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.